Hello and welcome to Sketch Cards Saturday night. I am Brad Scott and this is Brad Scott Art. And Sketch Cards Saturday night, we try to do sketch cards from comics and pop culture. Tonight won't be any different unless something specific comes across the desk. But for the most part, we are going to be working on continuing our X-Men series. So tonight we're going to give a shot at doing Cyclops and doing Juggernaut. So that's what we're going to go for, Cyclops and Juggernaut. Unless somebody wants something specific, but I plan to do some X-Men sketch cards tonight. There are loads of sketch cards in the bin already done. If someone wants me to run them on auction at a lower price, I'll do that as well. And let's get started with Cyclops. That's what we're going to go for, a little Cyclops. Let's see what we can do here. So Cyclops, X-Men, he's got the eye thing going. I've got a little bit of reference here, but I'm going to change it up just a bit to kind of, to what I think he'll look like anyway. I'm trying to think when I think of Cyclops, I think of swimming goggles, to be honest. And that's what I'm going to try to go for. It's kind of like a swimming face or swimming pose or something like that. I know he's had the uniglass, and he's had sunglasses and goggles and stuff. But let's see what we can do. All right. So let's start off with our head. This is going to be a pretty rough. And that's too small. I want a little bit bigger. Gotta get my lights right too. All right, here we go. Go a little bit bigger. Something like that. And maybe like that. I've always liked the X-Men, and I don't actually work on them that much because I'm a DC fanboy, and so I'm usually working on Batman and Batman villains. But I'm making an attempt to do more Marvel, more indie, more pop culture stuff. But Cyclops has kind of always interested me. I've always thought about, like, what would you do if you had to go through life not able to open your eyes? Not that you were blind, because that's different, right? But if you just put people in danger just by opening your eyes, that would be kind of a little bit different, wouldn't it? And before he got with Professor X and team, what did he do? You know what? How did he control it when it first um, manifested itself? You know, how did he control it? What was his mechanisms for controlling it? Not necessarily in the comics, but in real life. So I've always grown up thinking that, you know, mutants are real. That's a real thing. And there are mutants out there. You know, I've always thought that mutants were real. But because people are scared of what they don't understand, as we all know, why would they reveal themselves, right? If you were a mutant, would you tell people? I probably wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. Not only are people afraid of what they don't know and understand, they love to destroy what they don't know and don't understand. Or you become hunted because it's a challenge, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to catch me a mutant. Like, what the hell, man? So I want to give him some cool hair, and I also want to give him like swimmer's goggles. As far as the hair is concerned, I like it when he has kind of like that part down the middle, and you know, he's got that overflow on both sides. I think that's kind of cool. I've always liked that on Cyclops. I always want to say Cyborg, but it's not Cyborg, it's Cyclops. And I've always liked that part down the middle. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out, you know, the sketching process for me. I am an illustrator and I do work in book covers, comics, games. Um, got some pretty special projects coming out in 2024. A lot of them I'm extremely excited about. So I'm looking forward to sharing those as details become available. The other thing is his costume. Um, he's worn a lot of different costumes, right? And it's kind of hard because they're all really cool. I love the leather. I mean, that's just a badass costume. But also in the comics, he's got some pretty cool costumes as well. But I'm going to give, you know, he's got that kind of a little switch on the side of his goggles that kind of control his 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 powers, not necessarily his powers, but whether or not the it comes through or not. So I think that's pretty cool. But I like his comic costume as well. That hand is way too little. I gotta fix that. It came out good, but it's too little. It looks like a little baby hand. Oh shoot. That's the one thing about traditional versus digital art. If I was doing this digitally and I did a really nice hand, I would just select it and enlarge it, right? But I can't do that traditionally. So I got to redraw it, which is cool. In the words of some way better artists than me that came way before me, if it looks right, it's right. If it looks wrong, it's wrong. Don't be afraid to erase it and fix it. But then again, we were talking about the costume, right? What's kind of the cool costume to go with for my man Cyclops? I want to kind of give him that leaning forward look. All right, that's kind of the idea of what I want. This actually is going to have to come down this way. So his neck would come around kind of like that. Something like that. Costume wise, we'll go with some of the classic. He's got that X that goes over here, and then there's kind of like a strap that comes over one shoulder. And then he's got a strap that comes over the other side. I'll take my time here just a little bit, make sure I get a good detailed sketch, because that'll make the inking go by a lot faster. Okay, I'm kind of digging that. This is actually coming out pretty good. I'm I'm going to try to do 2 sketches tonight, maybe 3. I hurt my hand the other day, so I'm not sure how long it's going to hold up for sketching. But we're gonna go for it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Got that coming out. And we're gonna say he's got some shoulder pads under there. The costume comes up to the neck. I don't even know if I've ever drawn Cyborg before, to be honest. This may be a first. And let's see, what are we going to do with we're not trying to be accurate toward the movie or the comics. We're just kind of doing our own little take on a cool Cyborg. All right, so we got the hair, although I think I could fill it up a little bit more. All right, now let's see if we can come up with a cool goggle design. I don't know how cool this is gonna look. But I like that look. I like that goggle look on him rather than that unibrow look. I try to think about what would actually be comfortable if you have to wear this all the time, right? And just put yourself in the shoes of Cyclops there. What would you actually be comfortable wearing. I like this. I think that's a pretty cool design. I can dig it. I can dig it. It could definitely be a little bit better. It could also be a little bit worse. All right. There we go. It's Cyclops. Let's go ahead and get some ink on this dude. Let's ink him up. Ink him up. How am I gonna do this? I'm gonna go straight with my brush pen. Now my brush pen, I have to fix this one a little bit, so I don't know if I'm gonna get good lines. I'm sorry, I'm bumping the camera with my head here. We're gonna try this one. The tip of it was messed up, so I tried to trim it, and I really can't get sharp lines. But I think this would be, actually, no. I really need to change this one out. Is this ink almost done? No, it's a full ink. I'll switch. I'm gonna use this one. I think this one's good too. Yeah, this one's got full up ink. And this one has the tip on it still. That other one I gotta remember to toss out and throw away. I'm using what am I using here? I'm using watercolor paper. It's textured. 140-pound 4x6 cold press. So it has that texture on it, which I like to work with. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like the texture of the cold press paper. I do. I'm not sure why I prefer it, to be honest. I just do. And I really should have lightened this up a little bit before I started inking so that I don't mess it up. Oh, just gonna lighten it up. Just take off some of the graphite. That way I don't. There we go. There we go. But I like the cold press paper over the hot press, even though the hot press gives you a much smoother and a much smoother finish. I do like the texture of the cold press paper. Again, thank everybody for stopping by. We're doing X-Men sketches tonight, starting off with Cyborg. Hey, what's going on, Kingdom of Comics? Everything is going good, going good. Can't complain. I was thinking about heading to a comic book convention in Deltona today, but I didn't really feel like driving, so I changed my mind. My friend, artist Cool as Heck, was there, and I'll find out how it went for him later. How are you all doing tonight? Anything exciting for the weekend? I think it'll be worth it. Um, I have been trying to debate on whether or not I want to get on the wait list or not, primarily because I know that they are going to be calling people to fill booths just like they have to do every year. Instead of, getting people who want to be there, they get a lot of people who bug out, no show at the last minute, and then they rush trying to fill the gaps. But I don't know if I really want to be a gap filler this year. I think I would like to get back into doing MegaCon. I lost my slot when I bailed out a couple of years ago for, my daughter's graduation, and I haven't been able to get back on the list since then, which is bullshitness, but that's okay. It's their program. They do what they want to do. I think this is actually turning out pretty good. I don't know if I kind of like it. It actually makes me want to design my own cyborg suit. Um, I really like what they did with them in the movies. I like what they did with them in the comics. But now that I'm actually working on it for the first time, and I'm just kind of winging it, putting in things I think I like. Um, I think there's definitely some parts that I would love to see. Like, I love the strap that goes across his chest. It just is so cool. There was another project that I wanted to work on tonight, but I don't think I'm going to be able to after I finish this. I would plan to do a Juggernaut. I may still do that, but I don't know if I'm going to do the special project that I was looking forward to doing for a while now. I finally started. Actually, there's a project that I have been working on for years, and I'm finally started it, and I was going to introduce it tonight, but I hurt my hand, and I really don't know how long I'm going to be able to draw tonight. I think that's one of the worst things that can happen to an artist is to hurt their hand while they're working. I did not finish the Pegasus. I got pretty far on it. Would you like to see it? I think I've got one or two more sessions before I actually finish it. I'll grab it here in a second while I'm switching from Cyborg to Juggernaut. So there's the sketch for Cyborg, or excuse me, I keep saying Cyborg, Cyclops. And I'm gonna let this ink dry. I'm gonna erase a little bit more of the underdrawing, and then I'm gonna come back in and finish up a lot of the blacks. And we're gonna work on Juggernaut next. Juggernaut, I've always liked. He's got that simplicity about him that makes it fun to do. So Thursday night, I did finish the Minotaur. Finished the blends and the colors on that one. And this one is actually being entered into an art show. I love the way it came out. And then where's it at? Shit. Why didn't you identify the police officer when you were arrested? Because I was minding my own business. Where the fuck you guys get up on the rest of my? And here's Pegasus. That's the second phase. I've got about two more phases before it's finished. So that was pretty cool. Thank you much. Thank you much. I appreciate that. Let's shoot over to Juggernaut. So when I think of Juggernaut, I think of a bodybuilding football player. Just big, muscular for no reason at all. Just big. Like, I've got to be big. But I think the key to doing him is making him look big and mean, like he could just bust through anything. And to make a character look big, you pretty much just draw the head small, and that'll give them the size. But Juggernaut's not just big, he's big, muscular, powerful. It's got to look almost like, whoa. I don't know. I just glance over at the chat and I see like disrespect about him crushing Batman with his pinky. I don't know about all that. It would definitely be a challenge, but not a big challenge, to be honest. I mean, he's kind of limited. He's just strong. Although Juggernaut versus Bane, Juggernaut versus the Hulk, Juggernaut versus Swamp Thing. Those are some character. Those are some combos I would like to see. He's magical. He's a magical punk ass. If he's magical, then we just throw a little katana on him. Or do we go Juggernaut versus Constantine if we want to throw the magic card in there? How about that? Juggernaut versus Constantine. You like that combo more? Which one? Constantine? Katana? Zatanna, you're right. Zatanna, yes. I always think of katana sword. You're right. It's Zatanna. Oh my god. I do that all the time too. Zatanna with her katana sword. When I think of actually, I was just watching Constantine. I was watching Justice League Dark, which is Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Batman, of course. On the magic sides, it's cool that they have different forms of the Justice League for different challenges. And Constantine is kind of a badass himself, right? I think that see, that's the part I'm like, okay, so and I've had this conversation with a lot of comic book creators. So brings up a great topic. Creating a new superhero supervillain. When you make them all powerful, it's like, well, okay, what's the challenge? What are they facing? If nothing's going to bother them, then what's the point? Everybody has something. They kind of neutralizes or levels the playing field. So when people are like, oh, like even Wolverine, okay, he heals instantly, but he's metal. So you have a natural beat him up with Magneto type thing. So if Juggernaut, he's got his helmet to protect him from mind probes, and he heals instantly, and he's strong and magical, but he's not the most powerful villain ever. So obviously he's got his weak points. What's happening, Ray? Thanks for stopping by. Exactly. So, you put him up against somebody like Daredevil. Yeah, maybe he'll beat the crap out of him. Or maybe not. He's not fast. He's strong. But what really do you do with him? What do you really do with just brawn, no brain? Or not no brain, but I like the concept of him. I don't know if I would like to write stories for him because it seems just too blah blah blah. But that's the hardest part about creating new characters, new heroes, new superheroes, I should say, new supervillains is not only do you have to have, they need to be super and they need to be relatable, but they also have to have some type of weakness. They have to have something that they can't overcome, and they have to have a opposite but equal counterpart. So when you're looking at stuff, it's kind of hard to think about, okay, well, what's going to be this person's kryptonite? Because without kryptonite, Superman is just can't be beat, can't be stopped. You absolutely have no weaknesses. I can vouch for that. That's why you're kind of like my hero. Kind of like my hero on shoot, what is it? On The Fugitive with Tommy Lee and Robert Downey. I see you got yourself a Glock. Yeah, kind of because you're kind of like my hero. You remember that? That's Ray. She's kind of like my hero. She's kind of like my hero. This is kind of cool, I guess. I've never. I think I've drawn Juggernaut once. I think once is all I've ever done. It was the movie version. It was for commission, so I don't have it. I don't even remember what I did with it, who it was for. So that's pretty simple Juggernaut. Um, I don't know if I like that mask though. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Oh, I think I'm gonna do a combination of the movie helmet. I like it a lot better. It gives a little bit more face. Doesn't everything doesn't have to be covered up. Yeah, that's why I don't like it. I'm not going with that one. I'm gonna go with a different helmet. I'm gonna go with something different. Again, I don't try to necessarily be accurate to the comics or the movies. I just want it to be kind of sharp. But I do want it to see some of the face. I'm not gonna have just a mouth sticking out up under this thing and looking all crazy. I wanted to play music, but I also put these videos on my YouTube channel, and I got spiked for copyright infringement. So had to kind of change that a little bit. And I got I got busted by Kickstarter for having multiple Kickstarters active at one time. I've been getting busted a lot lately. I like that a little bit better. I want more face. I want more face. I think if I was doing this as a sketch cover, I'd go in a lot more detail. Let me try to give him some little beady eyes too. That's cool. I like that. Take it easy, Ray. All right. We'll do this one real quick. Actually, nope. Let me knock it down. I always forget to get some of this extra graphite off. I've been thinking of switching to sketching with a colored pencil, like a actual colored pencil, not just the blue or red that people will use, but more like a sepia, and then just not worrying about erasing. So I think next week I'm going to try some sketches like that, because erasing, one, takes a little bit longer than I'd like to spend for a sketch, and two, after I get my lines down, I try not to mess them up. Once again, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. There are lots of sketch cards already completed in the bin. And if there's something somebody specifically wants, just let me know. Tonight, I plan to work on X-Men minus any specific request. And working Juggernaut right now. Probably won't stay on a long time tonight because I have a sore hand based on some other work I had to do. Kind of hurt my wrist. I don't think it's, I think I was just doing too much in the garage. And I was lifting things the wrong way. And just messed up my hand being stupid. Hey, I didn't hurt it the other way. I've been doing the other way for over 40 years, so I'm a pro at that. I know how to do that without hurting myself. I think I am going to introduce the project that I'm working on now and that I will be doing more of in 2024. It's a special project, and I'm putting together a new thing of sorts. I always liked drawing Juggernaut. I think I've done him a few more times than Cyclops. I've done Cyborg a bunch. I love drawing Cyborg. The last one I did was just Pierre de Resistance. All right. So there's Juggernaut and Cyclops. I'm going to do a quick color on Cyclops, unless there's another X-Man that somebody wants sketched. I'll put some color and then I'll add details on them. I try to make these a little bit better than just average. Uh, this first phase is just to get the shape in that I like. I like the composition on that. I love that piece of it too. And Juggernaut just, I think it comes down to the details because the costume and the character are so simple. But let me show you something that a new project I'm working on that, oh man, that I already messed up maybe. So, Nightcrawler, I can do Nightcrawler. A project that I've been working on for several years and I've been contemplating on doing for several years. I haven't been working on it. I just started it. Of course, it's based in the DC Batman world. But I'm like, if you in today, modern day, created a Batman, sort of like they did with the movie The Batman, if you were super rich, you would have a supercar. And so what I've started doing is creating a set of Batmobiles based on real world supercars. So this is the first one based on the McLaren. And so I'm going to have the front view, back view, side view, top view. And I'm going to and right now I just have sketched out the actual McLaren and I'm going to turn it into the Batmobile. I'll add the wings, the flares, the gadgets and gimmicks. And if I was super rich and I got a super car for the Batmobile, how would I deck it out? How would I trick it out? And that's what this is going to be. So this is the first one. And I've got a series of those coming. Nightcrawler, which is badass. Everybody loves Nightcrawler. What did I just see him in? He looked kind of goofy. There was something that I was looking at and I was like, why does he look like that? Let me go ahead and actually I think I can erase these and get them up there without smearing it. And I think if I use the sepia colored pencil, I could just leave that in the background and I could just go right over it. The only problem is the colored pencils are wax. That's the only issue I have with doing it so far. Whereas the ink will go over the graphite and the graphite erases pretty easily. If I go with a colored pencil, it's going to be wax based and it's going to be a little hard to keep it from messing up the ink, but I'm going to try it. So let's post that up there. And we'll post this guy. I think we're good to erase. We might smear a little bit, but that's okay. I think those are good compositions. And we can check out a Nightcrawler real quick. Nightcrawler. How would it's a good way for Nightcrawler. Let me pull up a quick reference. What do I think of when I think Nightcrawler? I think, he's almost like a Daredevil Spider-Man, right? That's how I would describe him. So kind of like a parkour type dude. Um, let's see. Next Thursday on Mythology Madness, we are going to be painting Gorgon. The Pegasus and the Chimera, I'll probably finish up off camera. And so this next Thursday we'll be working on a Gorgon. And I'm going to try to do my own take on that one as well. And I was thinking, what would I do if I was designing a beautiful woman who was cursed due to jealousy, and now she would turn men to stone by a mere look. So I'm like, okay. And I've been thinking of some concepts, and I don't want to do, I kind of want to do my own take on it. And so Nightcrawler's kind of slim, so I don't want to make him too beefy. And the hand, right? He's got funky hands and feet, right? And I think I can show. Does he have 5 digits? I don't remember. Or does he have 3 or 4 digits? No, he doesn't have 5 digits. And I don't think there's anything besides him being blue. I don't think he's got any 3 fingers, 2 toes. Yeah, okay. Kind of like almost like a bat. Maybe a little pointy nose. And he's got cool hair too, doesn't he? He's like he's kind of like Cyclops. He's got cool hair. Again, thank everybody who stops by. I appreciate it. Even if it's just for a little while, I really do appreciate it. And there's stuff in the bin if anybody is interested. Other than that, maybe just drop a heart on the show. Just double tap the screen, drop a heart. I don't really do this for purchases, to be honest. I don't know why I do it yet. I enjoy doing it. I do know why I do it. I figure if I'm going to draw, it doesn't hurt to do it in front of people. Can you all hear the pencil as it scrapes the desk? That's one of the reasons why I like the textured paper. Oh. Sometimes I just, when I doodle, now if I'm at work in business meetings, I'll use the smooth paper with a nice sharp pencil. It doesn't make any noise. When I'm doing stuff where I'm just kind of think, for some reason, the noise just says, okay, it's like a mental note that I'm working, I'm coming up with something's happening. My mind is like, yeah, you're doing something, you're getting close to something you like. Keep going. It's a mental game. I think I want to make that thumb a little bit, I think I want to make his hand a little bit longer, like he could grab stuff with it. And he'll be blue, and he'll have that. I don't know what these haircuts are called. That's one of the things I need to learn more of. Is what are these haircuts? What are these different haircuts that people have? What is it called? But I always remember him having cool hair. He doesn't have a regular. He's got weird ears too. Give him some nice sideburns. Looking at that, there's no way to know that's Nightcrawler, is it? It's like that. It doesn't look like Nightcrawler. How can you tell if that's Nightcrawler? I don't know. How can you do something? And that's that other piece too. It's when you see him, you know it's Nightcrawler. And even if you see him in silhouette, you know it's Nightcrawler. So if I just did this as silhouette, you wouldn't know that that's Nightcrawler. So that means the drawing's not good enough. Something's missing. And it's my job to figure out what's missing to make him Nightcrawler. Is it the outfit? Is that what makes him Nightcrawler? So that even without this coloring underneath, you know it's him? The tail, that's true. Yeah, the tail. You know what? That's it. If you're just doing head and shoulder shot without the tail, it's like, oh, how can you tell that's Nightcrawler? There you go. So we got to throw a tail in there. So it's coming out. Up there. There you go. All right. I think that's kind of cool. We got the hand with the three fingers. Throw in some costuming. We got the tail. I think that's a good start. Let's go ahead and ink it and see where it takes us. Yeah. Good call. Good call. Nightcrawler. Normally when I do Nightcrawler, I do the whole body, but on a sketch card, that's not so much fun. But I think this is actually going to come out okay. I love working on stuff that I don't necessarily do that often. And once again, I forget to take the graphite down a little bit. I always forget, take the graphite down, crank the graphite down. Because if I don't erase it after I finish, if I just knock it down, it doesn't get in the way And some people actually like having the underdrawing, to show the authenticity that it is an original piece of art versus a reproduction. We're doing great on time too. Oh my God. So he's got the kind of spikish hair. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody cosplay Nightcrawler either. I think that would be a very cool cosplay to see somebody actually do a really cool Nightcrawler. I plan to, if people can make up their mind what they're going to do. Everybody's, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. You know what? I'm going to say that just that part right there actually looks like Nightcrawler. I think that's going to come out okay. Yeah, I plan to come out and hang out. Uh, if no, since I'm planning on it, I'm going to do it one way or the other. Even if nobody else does, then I'll go by the arcade and hang out with Brad, who's my favorite person to hang out with anyway. Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, he is fantastic. I have met some lately. In the art community, there has been a lot of collaboration, introductions, uh, helping each other out, helping each other grow, and introducing artists to other artists. I've really been happy with the art community recently on a wide variety of issues. But I am familiar with Marco. Chatted with him online, but haven't met him officially yet. Looking forward to it. There's also another gentleman. Oh shoot, what is his name? I'll have to look it up. He does a ton of Batman and Daredevil. So of course he got my attention. And I was like, wow. I thought I did a lot of Batman. I mean, he lives it. And his work is beautiful. I plan to get an original Batman and original Daredevil from him. Support him as well as build up a nice art collection. Um, I am one step closer to having a couple of acres and a warehouse, and I'm looking forward to what may happen with that endeavor. I'm looking at a few different locations, and I think once I decide on a location, I will be able to get ready for the next phase of life post engineering work. Okay, that was a great suggestion, Nightcrawler. Well, now he has four. Now he has four. And that is three fingers. There's three fingers and a thumb. All right. It's 10 o'clock. We've been going for hour and a half. I'll do another half hour or another 15 minutes. I'll do another 15 to 30 minutes and then I'm done. So I can work on these or I can start a new one. Is there another X-Man or just continue to start working on doing these inks? Oh shoot. Again, I don't do Nightcrawler that much. I can't remember what he has. Where's my cut board? There we go. Once again, thank everybody for stopping by. We're doing X-Men tonight. And Cyclops, Juggernaut, Nightcrawler with an extra finger. And those are the rough sketches. Let's get a quick shot of that, just because I might use that as the YouTube thumbnail. Those are our three sketches right there. So that's good stuff. And we'll start tightening this one up a little bit. And I love that, take that transformation from this to those deep inks. Thank you. I appreciate that. It really isn't that freaking hard. But it needs to be affordable for a lot of people. And I know that's the one of the issues. So we have to be cognizant of that. All right, you all have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. I'm just going to do some of these deep blacks, and then I'm going to be calling it a night and give my hand a rest. I won't be doing color tonight. I'll probably do color off camera and or maybe save it for next week. I don't know. One of the things I've been working on is adding more deep blacks to areas that don't really matter in my comics. So on my painting, everything is some color, but even then there's a lot that just can be blotted out per se. And so it helps to be able to just kind of visualize some of the deep shadows, get them in there. And what I used to do is I would do a highly detailed drawing, and then I would go in and cover it up with all these deep blacks. And I was like, wow, that while it's cool to see that highly detailed drawing, time wise, it's very inefficient. And I was like, I got to get better at spotting them where I want them so that I don't get those details, spend time doing those details just so I can take them out and cover them up. Or I do it and then I realize I'm just going to, I use my markers or paints only to realize, wow, I'm just going to cover that up with black ink. This one, I actually wanted to reverse the X, and I didn't do that, so I'm going to have to leave it the way it is. But already, this is starting to pop a little bit more, in my opinion, just by throwing in some of these deep shadows, obscuring some of the line work, taking it out of focus, drawing the attention to what really matters. All right, I'm going to switch pins here for a second and save the point on that one. For some of these areas, I'm just going to go in and block them all out. This pen I can be a little bit more rough with. The color on this is really going to make it pop. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But even those deep blacks like that make a difference. And I can separate that. I can create some space from that arm. And then I want to throw in some bolder strokes with the hair. And I think this one is going to be ready for color. And then some line detail. I do my details after the color just so that the marker does not smear the ink. All right, there we go. I like that. We got a little more time, so I'm going to switch back over to Nightcrawler here. And knock back some of this pencil work. This one might be a little bit harder to judge where I want the deep blacks, but let's see what we can do. At least to frame the focal point and maybe draw out the hand a little bit. Give me a little V toward the head. If this came down like that. I have not, man, I cannot remember last time I did Nightcrawler. This was actually fun. This was a lot of fun. Let's see. I may actually, I gotta find a sketchbook cover that would be pretty cool to have a Nightcrawler on. I don't know if I have one. I don't know if I have any X-Men covers left. If not, I'm gonna have to find some because doing the past couple of weeks doing these X-Men has been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun. All right, how much time we got left? We got 15 minutes. We'll continue on just a little bit more. Having some fun with this one. That's actually, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm gonna go ahead and black out the hotel just so it creates almost like it's on. Oh man, I should have kept a little white in there as a highlight. I can put it back in, but it would have been nice to not to just have the white. Nope, it wouldn't have been because I'm gonna go with marker anyway. I'm gonna have to put in the highlights with a white paint pen anyway, so it's fine. This has actually been pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna touch up Juggernaut just a bit. I think that came out pretty cool. That's a good start. I can do some fun stuff with that with the color from here. Yep, that's pretty cool. So we'll throw some deep blacks on Juggernaut here, and then that'll be it. Nightcrawler was fun. This one is going to definitely need some details with a fine liner for the effect that I want to give it. So, we'll get rid of every place we don't necessarily want detail. All right. Trying to get it in my head what I don't necessarily want to try to detail out and framing the head, because that's really the focal point for Juggernaut is the head. As with most characters, it's the head, it's the face. Just because we as people, that's what we look at. You walk up to somebody, you look them in the face. When you're checking out people, you look them in the face. When you're describing people, you usually start some type of description of their physicalness in the face. After, big guy, little guy, when you're describing, for someone to recognize, you have to go into the facial details. One of the cool things about superheroes and comics is you can over exaggerate a lot of stuff and make it fun. And as long as it's grounded and based in reality, it works out. That's why I always try to get the basic composition and anatomy good to go. And then after that, I can start some exaggerations. None of this have I made up. It's just all stuff I've learned from other people. And these are lessons that have proven to be correct in many aspects of the art that I create and the art that people have enjoyed from me over the past couple of years. So I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna keep learning, developing, and creating, coming up with different things that I think look cool and right. Has to look right, and then it's gotta look cool. If it looks cool but it looks wrong, that's usually a recipe for that looks cool, but something's weird about it. And that just doesn't get a lot of play. When you get it looks cool, but something's weird about it, then people start focusing on trying to find out why it looks weird versus the fact where, oh, that's just cool. All right. Keeping it pretty simple on Juggernaut because I really want to detail out that helmet before I get too involved in the rest of it. But we've been going for about 2 hours now. I've got some hand pain, so we're gonna call it. I gotta switch pins so I can make sure I remember to do that. So we're gonna call the ball. Here are our 3 sketches for tonight. We have let me see if I can get a piece of tape and put that up there real quick. We've got Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and Juggernaut that we sketched tonight. And I think they came out pretty cool. Next stage is I'll do some alcohol marker over all of them. And then I'll go back in with my fine liner and detail them out and, really make them pop. And then we'll get these puppies up for sale. So thank everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it. I think we had a pretty good night. And don't forget to Check out the bin, see if there's stuff you want. If there's something specific you want, I do have some commissions slots open at the moment, depending on when you see this. And other than that, you all take care, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.